welcome to another edition of Thought Leaders Live, where we talk with thought leaders in business, life, and all points in between. We've got a very special guest today. Drum roll, please. Uh, there it is. Dori Staehle, who is in North Carolina's only certified drum therapist. We're going to be talking about the science behind drumming and how it's revealing powerful benefits for brain health, emotional well being, and personal growth. And this is what appeals to me. You don't really need any musical experience to experience the difference. So, Dori, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Greg. Thanks for the invite. Appreciate it.
Yeah, sure. So, before we get into drumming and all the benefits it includes, how about you give us a little bit background about yourself, your personal journey, and your professional journey, and how you got into doing what you're doing now?
Sure, Greg. Well, a lot of people ask me, or they assume that I've been drumming since I was little. And that's not true. I was a late bloomer. It wasn't until the ripe old age of 47 that I decided to do something that was on my bucket list. I auditioned for a rockin' church band. I figured, well, they're going to, at least they'll be nice.
Yeah,
They played cover tunes in church though,
really?
Like Van Halen, AC/DC, you name
No.
it. Yeah, if it's if it fit with the theme, they went, and it was clean. Obviously, they went with it, and that was obviously not every song that the band played, but they always had a few snuck in there. And I thought, well, this is cool. And so they had a little program there. I was just visiting, they had a program saying, would you like to audition for the band? And I checked yes. And they asked you what instrument. And I went, probably, I don't want to make a fool of myself if I check off drums, because that might be too hard. Percussion. So people who don't know what percussion is, it's hand drums, bongos, congas. I'm doing this because I stand up when I play. Think Sheila E., except without the stilettos. I don't like to drum in heels. So I figured, okay, well, at least I don't have to worry about any cymbals or doing anything with my feet. I just have to worry about my hands. Now, keep in mind, I've had rhythm in me ever since I was a little girl, except my dad said, no drums, they're too loud, and handed me a guitar instead. And he was a musician, so that was kind of a
Hmm.
surprise. However, well, he was doing that on the side apparently before I was born. I didn't even know. I just knew that he had, some of these hand drums around, and I like to noodle around on them. But I asked for a drum set. And since we lived in a two-family house, he said, drums are too loud.
Yeah.
So that was something that I had to deal with for a while. But business number two was Next Stage Entertainment. I found, groomed, and booked over 900 local young bands and solo artists. And so
Wow.
at 47, when I auditioned, I thought, well, heck, why should the kids have all the fun?
Yeah.
I'm going to audition. Let's see what they say. What's the worst thing they can say? Don't call us, we'll call you, right? If I totally blow it. But I
Right.
thought, okay, I got rhythm, so let's see if the rhythm that has been in my feet from the dancing. And if your kid taps out rhythms or bops their head to the beat, they probably have good rhythm, and you might have a future drummer. So look out. But yeah, I auditioned. I just followed the drummer. I jumped in, and sure enough, they said, okay, see you Sunday. I went, like 2 days from now, and they said, yeah, you're in. I went, okay. So I just jumped in. I have a really good ear, I'm told, and I can catch a beat really fast. I
Okay.
don't. I can read music now, but I choose not to. I just play by ear and go with the flow. So whatever the drummer's doing, I'll add a little something, something extra, and it blends really well. So I played with them for 13 years. But in the very beginning, Greg, I knew drumming made me feel different, but I didn't know why.
Hmm.
First of all, it's loads of fun. So you got those positive, feel good endorphins like boom, flowing through you. Adrenaline's going nuts because, it's very exciting when you're playing live on stage,
Yeah.
stage lights and the whole bit. It's a whole thing. So I had all that going, but I thought, but wait a minute, when I'm drumming, I feel both relaxed and energized at the same time. I wonder if there's science behind this. So I Googled it and I found out there was such a thing called drum therapy. It was
Okay.
relatively new at the time because we're going back quite a number of years. If I tell you how many, you'll figure out my age. Quite a few. And so I thought, wow, okay, so you can use drumming for therapeutic purposes. So I was thinking drumming's just for entertainment, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's loads of fun. You're in a band. How awesome is that? I did eventually play with cover bands and stuff. So I thought, whoa, this could help a whole lot of people. So at the same time that I was running Next Stage Entertainment, I also had a business called Next Stage Educational Services. Because why do just one thing at once? Oh, and while you're at it, might as well homeschool your kids to really throw a wrench in the works. So, but our kids were very creative and musical. So I've been around music all my life. Lots of rock bands, especially. And then with my tutoring and educational consulting business, I thought, I wonder if I could sneak in some drumming with some of my tutoring students who felt stuck, scattered, and stressed out, especially the juniors and seniors, because at that time I was doing SAT prep. Got to do something with that MBA, right? So math and writing and things, but a lot of math students. I had a very good track record, by the way. So there you go. I developed creative ways to do things because that's how I roll. So this one young man was saying this, Dori, I'm so stressed out. I got college exams. I've got the SATs to prepare for. I've got my own finals. My parents are driving me nuts. I said, dude, I can tell because you're totally blowing your problems today. He had a 40% accuracy rate before we did the drumming. So I asked him, would you like to try something fun? You need a break, 5 or 10 minutes. Come into the living room because I was working from home and we'll just do something fun. And I showed him I had a couple of these. This is called the djembe drum. It's
Okay.
spelled Djembe. You don't pronounce the D. Now, keep in mind, I don't do African drumming, no kumbaya, and I don't own a stitch of tie dye. So if you're thinking, oh, this is the hippy dippy thing, wrong. I've been a rock chick all my life. So there we go. These are just lightweight, they're portable, and they're oh so easy to play, and they feel really good. So he and I sat across from each other. He had a drum, I had a drum. I gave him special techniques that I knew would sync up the left and right hemispheres of the brain because I knew about brain integration. I was doing exercises with the younger students to get them to stretch out beforehand. And I knew that that activated both sides of your brain.
Oh,
Now,
okay.
language and math are on the left side of your brain. So all your analytical types, just the facts, man, there's people who can follow step-by-step instructions really well. They tend to be more left-brained. Your creative, random, abstract, no concept of time types, that would be your right brain types. I'm a combination of both, so that's pretty cool. So my goal was to get the kids who couldn't focus. They had a whole lot of what I call static in the attic. I don't like the labels ADHD and ADD, and so I
Right.
changed them. ADD in my book is a delightful dreamer. ADHD is a definitely hyper drummer, and I'm both. And for those on the autism spectrum, ASD is a special design. So there you go.
I
I
like.
always look for the positive. So I drum with the young man. Seriously, only 5 or 10 minutes doing just special beats and things. He had a pretty good rhythm and a good ear. Didn't really matter though because anybody can do this. You just follow what I'm doing. You're following my beats. And
Okay.
if you can count, you can drum. And I always joke, drummers can only count to 8. Okay, not true, but so that people don't get intimidated. You just, I do something, you'll watch me, you hear it, or you hear it, you feel it, and you play it. It's that easy. I'm not giving anybody music books or talking about, notes or musical notation or timing signatures. Nah, none of that. We're just rocking out and having fun, but I'm getting them to do different things with their hands and sometimes their feet because I customize the programs based on what the individual organization needs. Okay, 5 or 10 minutes of drumming. The kid went from a 40% accuracy rate to a 100% accuracy rate on the exact same math problems
What?
in just 5 or 10 minutes of drumming. So he was like mind blown.
Wait, how long did it take for him to get to that point?
One
I mean, he,
session, 5 or 10 minutes of drumming, one session. So he said, I think
Get that drum out. We got to start right now with me.
so, so he says, "Oh, Miss Dory, I think you're onto something." He goes, "Because that's as far as how I felt, relaxed and energized." He said, "That's how Ritalin and Adderall work. I think you just found a natural solution."
Wow.
So
Holy cow.
I started creating all these programs, thinking I was going to be working mainly with kids with ADHD issues. Which, by the way, in 1995, I created a theory called the gifted ADHD connection. Over 200 case studies, because all my tutoring students became my case studies, and I discovered that ADHD, the symptoms of ADHD, and the symptoms of the concept known as giftedness were exactly the same. Aha. There were some underlying physical issues, very easy to fix types of things. So my tutoring students got a whole bunch of everything. Now I just call it, rhythm based wellness and empowerment programs that rock. We'll combine drum therapy with the empowerment coaching. We'll say affirmations. I'll help them shift their mindset because I discovered if you change your beat, you can shift your mindset and you can change your life, as one client said. And it works really fast. It's easy to do, and it's loads of fun, and it's a great release. So there you go.
So, a gazillion questions, but the first thing is what I found out what you said was very interesting was the how you feel kind of energized and relaxed at the same time. And
Yeah.
I know you're not a sports fan, but I bring up like Michael Jordan, the basketball player,
Mm-hmm.
when I think about him and you watch him play, he looks totally relaxed and he's
Yeah.
not going super fast. He's totally in control and feeling this natural, he's in the groove, right?
Yeah.
And I think then he's playing very instinctively and making super fast decisions, but he's not in his head, right? He's just in the
Yes.
moment. Is that what the drumming can bring out of you?
Exactly. And the people who work with me when I do group events and sessions and things like that, a lot of the adults, hello, they overthink things because some of them might be thinking, how does this work? The musicians might be thinking of, what timing is, and I have to tell them, let it go.
Yeah.
Stop thinking about what you're doing, just do it.
Yeah.
Like I said, you hear it, you feel it, you play it. You've got to go with it. Kids don't hesitate.
Right.
If I had a whole bunch of drums set up, and I've actually tried this experiment many times, and I've called people over, guess who runs over right away? The kids.
Yeah, of
And
course.
they jump right in and
Yeah.
they'll noodle around. Of course, they usually start with drum rolls because they're so hyper. Okay, great. But the adults are, ooh, I can't do that.
Yeah.
They're convinced that they don't have rhythm.
Yeah.
Hello, put your hand over your heart, people. What is that?
Yeah.
Your heartbeat. That is your personal bass drum that's going boom, boom, boom all day long. All of the things in your body are pulsing in rhythm from
Yeah.
your different organs to the blood flowing. I mean, if you've ever had any medical tests, you can hear it. Number one and number two, they're all operating at different frequencies. And your body has a frequency. I'm not going into woo woo land, so don't worry. This
Yeah.
is science. So I found out that sometimes people needed to raise their energy levels because maybe they were feeling like pretty sad that day or chill or they were just felt like nothing was working in their business or life or career and they felt stuck.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, that's okay. I'll start out real chill, but we're going to change the beat and I will make it progressively more difficult. And we always close out with a rockin' tune. And I teach them an easy way to play it because it's fun. But they go from very tentative, I got to grab it around this, but I
Yeah,
can't
do
sit
it.
still and just yak. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I'll hold it a little bit higher than normally so the camera can see it.
Yeah.
So they'll start out real tentative, especially the ladies tap, 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 like with their fingertips, tap, tap. Seriously? Girl, is that all you got? Hit that thing. You know you want to. And I give them permission. It's okay to just hit it and go for it. I'm not grading you. Nobody cares if you're off the beat or if you're off my beats. I want them to have fun and have some freedom. so that they can focus, feel better, and find their joy. That's all. Oh boy, that was a whole lot of F's. There we go. I didn't even plan that. But yeah, so they'll go from tap, tap, tap to, all right, we're going to start with the basic heartbeat. If you've ever been to a drum circle, again, I don't do these, but I know a lot of friends who do. Drum circle facilitators, they always start with the heartbeat, two beats right in the middle. You take a deep breath. You get in the zone. You can even close your eyes. You can do this on your legs or your desk right along with me. Are you ready, people?
Yeah.
Two beats, boom, 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 boom. One, two, here we go. One, two, one, two. You take some breaths, get in the zone. You can do this as long as you need. You can change my hands and stop. Okay, so that's your basic one. When you switch hands, it actually activates both sides of your brain a little bit more. While you're doing this, you don't realize you're calming down your central nervous system.
Hmm.
So, emotional regulation is a biggie for those on the autism spectrum, but even
Sure.
some of the ladies, I didn't know drumming could help with menopause, but here you go. There's actually studies on that as well. I
Wow.
have I have links to lots of studies because I wanted to know, how many different things this can help with, and it's a lot. Okay, so you regulate your central nervous system, you get in the zone, and you're releasing, just all that stress. You can say affirmations at the same time to get into a more positive state, like I'm creative, I'm confident, I'm capable, I can rock this. You can add a beat because I get bored with just two beats. Add one more beat. I call that heartbeat plus one. I made it up. Here we go. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and it'll sound just like We Will Rock You, guaranteed every time. Right? There we go. And again, deep breaths, and you get in the zone. You can stay on this beat as long as you want, or you can add beats. Something like that. So again, we only did, three beats. So how hard is that? And for my Christian clients, if you don't want to do affirmations, I tell them do Bible verses. You can say things. The important thing is you want to shift from the negative to the positive because everything you tell yourself gets stuck in the cells of your body. And so if you're convinced things will never change, or you're never going to feel better, or your business is never going to be successful. Whatever those negative things, you gotta sweep those things away. Get rid of those. I like that piece because that sounds so nice.
So the sessions, and tell me how much this for your clients this takes up during the day. How is it something where you feel it, you need it, just take 5 minutes and do it? How does it work into their day-to-day routine?
Oh, sure. Well, for private clients, they sign on for an 8-week block of sessions. I find that 8 weeks is a really good number because it takes you about 3 sessions to get used to the drum, the process, and me, actually, to understand what's involved. They can purchase one of these beautiful djembe drums. I can ship them anywhere in the US at a really good price because I am a toca percussion artist, so I get discounts. So they have no excuses. So after their weekly sessions, it's 30 minutes for the kids 6 to 12. For teens and adults, I do an hour because I'll put in a little bit of extra coaching or consulting into their sessions because I can. It's in my brain anyway. You're going to get lots of ideas. They don't stay inside very long. So if you need ideas for your business, I got plenty. So they get that, and then on their own, I give them homework exercises, just a few. A lot of them warm up exercises. It's kind of like an exercise program. I have some warm up exercises. I have more challenging things in the middle, and then we have a little cool down at the end. We might jam a bit, just because improvising is very freeing, and a lot of people just like the fact that no rules, just right. Just do whatever you want, and we'll create something together. So it's a great tool for connections in so many ways for both teams, because I've
Hmm.
worked with virtual wellness, corporate events, things like that, for individuals also, because a lot of people out there feel very disconnected,
Yeah.
especially if they're working remotely, but even in their bodies. So this syncs everything up, not only, brain integration, but it helps your body feel regulated and your brain, and you feel more focused. And And I've seen people gain instant clarity on something they were stuck with. One woman just, well, more than one, a lot of the female entrepreneurs I've worked with, their goals, I always ask people, what are your goals for your program? And I'll customize their program based on that. But they always get way more. There's always way more bonuses that happen that they weren't even thinking of. But some of these gals, I work with some guys too, they had ideas for their business, things that had them stuck before. Their brain was no longer fixated on that because you
Right.
can't think about anything when you're drumming. You're thinking about the beats and your breath, right? Drumming is the only thing that I don't space out and think about other stuff while I'm doing it. Even if I'm doing online video exercise programs with people for my own personal wellness, I'll be thinking about something. I can still do the moves, but I'm thinking about something else. I don't do that when I'm drumming, which is really awesome. So
It just sounds like fun meditation, really, right? I mean, it's kind of like you're meditating. Everybody's trying to meditate and get into that relaxed zone, and inevitably, when I do it or when other people do it, they're like, "Oh, all these thoughts start coming into my head." You're saying
yeah,
that doesn't
it
happen with drum.
is. It is because you are totally in the zone. And even if you just do this 5 or 10 minutes a day, you'll feel better. 20 seems to be the ideal when they've done different studies. 15 to 20 minutes tends to really change things. Because again, folks, you can't go to the gym just once and expect to lose 50
Right.
pounds. It's a consistency thing. So the more you drum, the better you feel. It's been proven time and time again. There's loads of studies out there that have been documenting all of this. And I'm documenting all of my experiences as well, especially with private clients. So now I
Okay.
can say I have an evidence based approach because I know exactly what happened during what session. And I can tell people, I do the math and I can say I have a 93% success rate in 8 sessions or less.
Wow.
It would be 100 if they would practice more. Some of them didn't practice at all, especially the teens, just saying.
Well, let's talk a little bit because we got a business audience here on LinkedIn Live.
Sure.
Let's just talk a little bit about who's going to come to you. What are their issues? What are their challenges that you usually see people coming to you with?
Sure. Yeah, I've pared things down because, you can't do everything. Even though drumming can help just about anybody, I had to really rein it in and
Yeah.
focus on the people that were coming to me the most and the people that I've seen the best results with. And those are kids and adults with ADHD, autism, anxiety, or stress, or a combination thereof.
Hmm.
And I have worked with a lot of both corporate wellness virtually. They were just drumming on their legs or their book. They had a 100% success rate across the board every time we did it in their stress levels because we polled the studio audience. What are your stress levels before the session and what are they after? And they all went down. So that was pretty cool.
So that was kind of a quant or a measurement you took, like just give me a scale 1 to 10. What's your stress level?
Yeah, we did a 1 to 5. One being you're feeling very chill, five being you're ready to explode. And before the session, the the results would always come out between threes and fives. How scary is that?
Yeah.
Bosses need to worry. And then after the sessions, they all went down to ones and twos.
Wow.
So they said it was a combination of the drumming, but they even said, Dori, it's also your voice. You're
Yeah.
very calming.
Yeah.
Maybe it drops an octave when I'm drumming. And it just helped them realize that, they don't need to feel stuck, scattered, or stressed out, that whatever they're experiencing, this too shall pass. It's
Mm.
going to be okay. No matter what you're going through, and I've been through some tough stuff, you can shift your beat and you can rise up and rock. I did it. You can too.
And let's talk about you had a personal story you wanted to share. You said you just been through some stuff. You mentioned it before the show. Do you want to talk a little bit about it? Because you said it had a pretty big impact in your life.
It did. Now, keep in mind, folks, I never thought I would be using drumming for wellness at all. I thought I'm going to be rocking out with bands, church bands, cover bands. I was, all the things. And then in 2011, I had a day job at the time for a couple of years. During the recession, girls got to do what she's got to do. My first two businesses started slowing down. I was offered a position where I got paid to talk. And as you can tell, I don't have a problem with that at all. I got to travel up and down the East Coast, had a company car, got to do presentations, had an expense account, laptop, the whole gamut. Well, I came back to do a weekend event with my coworkers. We were doing a fun event with clients and their families. What are the odds of standing outside, having refreshments in a crowd of 200 people and being run over by a speeding bicyclist? No joke. I was the only one hit, probably because everybody stepped back when they saw what was happening. Man, he threw me for a loop. So, in case you're wondering how far can a skinny chick fly, pretty far apparently. Woo! I never hit the ground though, but somehow I wound up with massive injuries because I twisted on the way down to prevent the fall, and there went my back, and I jacked up my shoulder, knee, ankle, and I didn't know that you can get a concussion and whiplash even if your head never hit the ground.
Wow.
But he hit me hard enough. It was like a football tackle without the padding. So he hit me on my side. I went back and forth and side to side. And there you go. That's a great way to get whiplash and a concussion, I'm told. So I thought I was fine. And I stood up after I, picked myself up and grabbed my backpack, which fell on the ground. Okay, did the goalpost sign. We're good. Touchdown.
Yeah.
To make a joke because it's so embarrassing. I'm flying through the crowd here.
But the
And
guy just was biking through and lost control and ran
no,
into you, or
no, he was deliberately speeding through the crowd. I guess he saw a little opening, but yours truly made the mistake of stepping forward at the wrong time because somebody said, Dori, could you come over here? I have a question. 30 seconds and my entire life changed with
wow.
three little words. Dori, look out. It's too late. He was already there. He was right there. I didn't see him in time. Nobody did. And he only, it's a good thing though. If you're going to get hit, I took one for the team, my boss said, because there were two little girls to the right of me, probably around ages 5 or 6. If they would have been hit, Greg, that would have been it. I
Yeah.
mean, they would have been severely injured. If anybody is in New York City and you know about bicycle messengers, you get
Ah,
hit by a bicycle messenger and you're pretty much done for because you're going to be seriously injured, if not worse. So I
oh,
was very, very lucky that the handlebars did not hit my chest. My One of the doctors said hit my arm first because if it hit my chest, I would have died on impact.
oh, wow.
Wow, right? That'll give you goosebumps, right? But I leaned back. So he got my arm, I got the back of my legs. And anyway, so I quit the job after 3 months because I couldn't physically do it. And I thought, well, now what? You ever been in that position where chances are you've never been hit by a speeding bicyclist, but I can
Right.
guarantee this something has come at you from left field that you didn't expect and
Hmm.
totally threw you for a loop. And you probably said, what am I going to do now? Right. So that's what I did. I was going to doctors, physical therapists. Nothing was working. Physical therapy was making it worse. And I decided, as a person of faith, after 3 years, the insurance company was still covering my visits, even though I wasn't at the job anymore. That was cool. So I asked God, give me a way to heal myself and heal others. I didn't want it to be just about me, because I can't go on this way.
Yeah.
I wasn't the same person. I couldn't think straight. It was brain fog. I was mixing up words for things. I didn't know I had a concussion or whiplash till a year later.
Oh, wow.
And that would have been good to know because I would have stopped doing certain things that were giving me headaches. And,
Uh,
I didn't know I had something called temporary aphasia. I had a TBI. I didn't know it. I kept just doing whatever.
right.
Fake it till you make it, Nobody knew. I was all patched up with, icy hot patches under my clothes. Nobody knew. Going to networking events, promoting my business. We're going to make this business work, smile and nod, and everything's going to be fine. Except it wasn't because emotionally I wasn't the same either. And I almost lost hope completely, which is so unusual for the chief encouragement officer, as I call myself. But I went there because I thought nothing's working. I don't know what to do next. And then after I asked that question and I got the answer, and the answer was use the drums, Dori. I went, oh, for me. I never thought of just drumming for me. I'm so used to drumming with other people. That's why I was told the doctor, he said, when doesn't it hurt? You're in pain 24/7. I said, yeah, pretty much. I said, it doesn't hurt when I drum, but I didn't know why because I was focusing on others, not on me. And the accident, by the way, triggered a rare neurological degenerative condition. There's no cure. So here I am with all these things thinking, well, I got nothing else to try. I might as well try the drumming. It can't hurt, right? And I'm sitting in a chair. I'm not bouncing around or anything. So I sat in a chair in my office. I took a djembe drum bigger than this one. I drummed for my life, basically. I drummed really hard to get the anger out because I was so angry at the doctors and the insurance company who
Sure.
didn't believe me. They kept saying, it's all in your head. You can't possibly be that injured. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty physically active. I know when I'm in pain. Okay, whatever. Drummed really hard and fast for about 15 to 20 minutes a day. And then I took a Native American buffalo drum, which I don't have here. It's a big round drum, has a mallet, very deep tone, and very deep frequency, very strong vibrations. I mean, you hit that thing and you can feel it. It's like a sound massage. So I just went over where the tears were: shoulder, knee, ankle, back, doom, doom, doom. I had cysts all over my spine, by the way. And in 2 weeks, I was completely healed. There we go. Never went back to the doctors, canceled all my surgeries and the invasive procedure on my spine. I don't have the symptoms anymore. That was 2014. I have not been back to the doctors since. Some people say, oh my gosh, Dori, you were miraculously healed. Well, there you go. You can believe my story or not, but it's my story and I'm sticking with it. I know what happened. I know the instructions I was given. I followed them. It worked. I
Wow.
cannot guarantee miraculous healing, however, for everyone I work with. Just keep
Yeah.
that up. I would love it. I really would. But I have seen some pretty amazing things that you would not expect. Like kids who are nonverbal suddenly speaking after 3 sessions.
Sure.
Hello?
Yeah.
Didn't expect that. Or kids who are speaking maybe just one word or so here and there, generally copying whatever their parents said. And I said, let's see if we can get them to speak in sentences. So I did exercises that they had to answer me, and they did.
Wow.
People say, how do you get such good results? I said, well, it's not on me. I have some extra divine assistance, I guess. But also, there's a lot of neuroscience behind this, number one. And like I used to tell the rock bands that I used to book when they would say, Dory, how do you get us such good pay and perks? I said, dude, you don't ask, you don't get. You get what you expect. I expected to be healed. I expected people to feel better when they work with me. So if all they feel is less stress and more joy, that's good. However, I like it when they get some extra perks.
Wow. I love that story. That's amazing. The results you're getting are incredible. And, I remember I like played a little guitar and I got in, my neighbor played guitar and I'm like, oh, let's just play together. And I just wanted to play some chords and stuff. But there's something about playing music. And what I like about what you're doing is you don't have to be a musician. It has this really amazing effect on you and it's
It
so much
does.
fun and it's really a different thing and it's why I think it's why like my father-in-law was a musician and I have friends who are musicians. They're like the most chill people. They're just like seem like they're just much more relaxed and at a different
Because
level and
yeah,
it's
for
incredible.
many of us, it just brings us so much joy. And so when the one doctor said, you need shoulder surgery, and I said, what's my downtime going to be? And he said, oh, it's going to be about 3 months. And oh, by the way, you may never be able to drum the same again, if at all. I went,
Oh
oh yeah, I'm not going there because
yeah.
I couldn't imagine what would my life be like without drumming. I know it sounds crazy. I'm a rocking grandma of 3 kids. I'm pushing 70, but I'm still out there and I'm still, bringing my drums around where they come to me, and I'm still having fun. So
I love
there's
it.
that, and I think people need more joy in their lives. So whatever it is that brings you joy that you're probably not doing now, you need to either bust out those paints, bring out your guitar that's probably collecting dust in the closet, find something to tap on, or maybe it's photography, whatever your
Yeah.
creative thing is, bring that out and just have fun. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just
Right.
do it.
Right. Dory, we're at the top of the hour. If someone wants to work with you, get in touch with you, learn more about drum therapy and what you're doing, how do they do it?
Sure, just reach out to me. You can email me, Dori, Dori, at nextstagedrumming.com. If you're wondering where the next stage comes from, I'm moving people on to the next stage of their lives. Or they can go to my website, nextstagedrumming.com. You can find me on Facebook and YouTube, Next Stage Drumming. I'm on Instagram at Next Stage Dori. I'm everywhere. And of course, here on LinkedIn. I would love to answer any questions anybody has. I do offer free calls and even free mini sessions virtually if you'd like to know more.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm definitely going to be passing your name along to a few folks. And thank you for coming on the show. One of the more entertaining and enlightening guests I've ever had. So thank you so much for joining us,
Sure.
Dori.
Thank you so much. And to everybody out there, keep on rocking, my friends. You're never too old and it's never too late to rock what you got. That's what I'm talking about.
That's awesome. All right, Dori, hold on just a sec for after the end of the show.
Sure.
And just want to thank everyone for joining us on another edition of Thought Leaders Live. We'll catch you on the next one.